It's probably safe to say that we all know that there can be a tremendous amount of frustration when it comes to recognizing our true nature. Very often we hear a pointer, we hear some kind of explanation, some kind of guidance to recognize our true nature, but we don't quite resonate with it. We notice that it makes sense on an intellectual level, but nevertheless, it doesn't seem to get us to this true, authentic, and very real recognition of what we truly are, what the nature of our experience really is. And I think a tremendous reason for why there is this great frustration is because a lot of the pointing out instructions try to get you to see something, to recognize your true nature by using a tool that's just not suitable for that job. So what do I mean by that? Let us assume that we are in a very fixated, contracted, identifying way of orienting to our experience. And now we want to dissolve this fixation, get out of this contraction, and recognize what we truly are. The centerless, unbounded, totally interconnected awakeness. So the very interesting question then becomes, how do we get from this fixation to this centerless openness of awareness? And remember, we are starting out from this view of a separate self, from the sense of being this localized entity, which is fixating on parts of its experience. So what tools do we have at our disposal? We have conceptual thinking. We have movement of the fixation. We have this laser beam of attention. And now we have to ask ourselves, will those tools be suitable to recognize what we truly are? And the simple answer to this question is no, they won't be. And this is why there is so much frustration when it comes to the recognition. Why people can't resonate with these pointers. You hear, for example, an instruction like looking for the looker. So what do you do then? You're currently feeling as if you are the separate entity which is guiding its attention out into the field of experience. And now you're trying to use that same faculty of attention to find this centerless, unbounded awareness which you truly are. And of course, that will be utterly impossible, because this kind of fixated attention can only find objective qualities. It can find objects of experience, but it cannot find our true nature. Because true nature is space-like, without objective qualities. It's closer than close. It's not an object we can be aware of. It is the subject of experience which we always are. So attention can never find this subject of experience which is not separate from our field of experience. So if we're trying to use this faculty of attention and fixation, we won't succeed. And of course, if we use this faculty of interpretive thinking, that won't do the job either. That's not to say that conceptual thinking can never be useful when it comes to the recognition of our true nature, but at the end of the day, it's only a supportive tool, a kind of scaffolding. It won't be that which allows for the recognition. So what can we do to get out of this dilemma? How can we move from fixation to this clear recognition? It seems clear that we need some kind of intermediary step, some kind of method, let's say, which allows true nature to relax out of this fixation and then to recognize itself. And so how do we do that? The tool which I found the most powerful, both for myself and in sharing with other people, is the tool of space. What do I mean by that? What I'm trying to say is that if we first move to a kind of spacious awareness and notice the qualities of that, the further step of then recognizing what we truly are will be effortlessly easy. So let me be very clear. The spacious awareness, a kind of expanded state of mind, is not what our true nature inherently is. It is a kind of side effect and a useful tool to get to the recognition, but it's not the final destination, so to say. Nevertheless, as I said, it's extremely powerful for this intermediary step, which is why if you watched any of my pointing out videos, I always first emphasize a kind of relaxation and opening of awareness. Again, we're starting out from this fixation, and we are then allowing awareness to just open up slowly, just give us a bit more space, a bit more relaxation, and we can use any of the sense fields we feel comfortable with. I really like using the visual field for this, but it really doesn't matter at the end of the day. So you can incorporate, for example, more of the visual field, allow awareness to expand to the periphery. See with this panoramic view and notice what that's like. You will see that there is a naturally existing relaxation here, an openness, a space, a well-being that kind of naturally arises just when we open up a little bit. And as a result of this, the fixation will lose its strength. It won't feel as heavy and contracted anymore. Just through this very simple step of creating a bit of space and relaxation, a bit more openness, the fixation is already loosened up to a considerable degree. And here we can begin to inquire into the nature of awareness. We can then notice that the awareness which is perceiving right now, which is taking in the visual field, is effortlessly here. It doesn't need to be maintained. We can also notice that it has no boundary to it. It's always here and now. It's fully intimate with our field of experience. And here comes the crucial point. Is there some kind of observer, separate self, entity in the middle of this awareness? Or is it just existing by itself? There isn't someone who has the property of awareness. There is just awareness here, now, everywhere, all at once. And you can sense how this is the case. Rather than looking for it as some kind of object, we simply relax, open up into it. And now that we have this flavor, this beginning of the recognition of awareness, we can allow this awareness to then look for itself, to look back and see immediately with clarity that where we believe this separate self to be, there is just unbounded awakeness, openness, which is not separate from whatever we are experiencing. And we can then further realize that this awareness is therefore not something we are aware of. It is what we are. And we could say we are aware from and as this awareness. And as this awareness, how do we relate to our field of experience? I can clearly see that there is no difference, no distinction, and no separation between this awareness and what it's appearing as. So there you have it. All these beautiful fundamental qualities of our true nature are effortlessly revealed just through these very simple steps. And you may now notice how moving from fixation to the recognition can seem quite hard. But if we take this intermediary step of spaciousness and then allow ourselves to recognize the presence of this awareness, which then looks for itself and finds itself, that is actually extremely accessible. So at the end of the day, it's always awareness which recognizes itself. Only awareness has that capacity. The fixated, conceptual mind doesn't have this capacity. So whenever you are seemingly trapped in this fixation, just create a bit more space, a bit more relaxation. Notice the awareness which is effortlessly here, and then allow this awareness to recognize itself naturally, spontaneously, and simply enjoy the wholeness, peace, aliveness that is inherent in that recognition. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you would like to get in touch with me, you can always do so through my website. Thanks for watching, and I will see you right here next time.